everybody, it's Old School Nerd. Welcome back. Today, we're not going to a country, we're going to an area of the world called West Africa, which, by the way, is on the western side of the continent of Africa. That's why it's called that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Today is Tuesday, and yes, it's Tuesday Travels with Old School Nerd. It's where we go to a certain part of the world. Normally it's a country, but not today. We need to do kind of a region where we talk about metal music, heavy rock music, the past, the present, and what the future holds for metal music in a certain part of the world. Today's going to be a very short video because, unfortunately, there's not a lot going on there, and that needs to change. Pop quiz. What instrument does Old School Nerd play more than any other instrument in the last 30 years? It's a pop quiz, but everyone should know it's that thing right there. You only see the bottom of it, but I have a rosewood djembe that I've had for almost 28 years. And of course, the bottom of that one right there, that's also another djembe. It's a smaller one, and it's made out of a different type of wood that I don't think is rosewood. It's too light. Anyway, so I love hand percussion, particularly hand percussion from West Africa. Now, a lot of people will know when you say the word djembe, a lot of people will kind of equate it to drum circles and that bohemian lifestyle that we all kind of, when we kind of got into our kind of hippie stylings during college, you know, usually pretty much for a girl or for a boy. It doesn't matter. But we all know about it. And the thing about it is I never grew out of it because I fell in love with it. Now, djembe is spelled with a D. D-J-E-M-B. The D is silent. And here's the thing. Djembes are original to West Africa. Togo, Ghana, the Ivory Coast, pretty much all those smaller colonized areas of West Africa. Now, West Africa is still one of those places in the world that has a lot of turmoil, both politically, between cultures, and you would think that with all that going on, there would be a lot of inspiration for music, particularly metal music. But that hasn't been the case. In fact, if you go onto YouTube and try to search Africa metal, most of your results will come farther than 6, 7, sometimes 11 years old. In fact, there's really only one band that I know of that's really active in West Africa on a level that we would expect from a metal band on YouTube. And that's the one you're looking at right there. Archon Astra. Now, I found out about them 3 years ago. And the video you're looking at right there, yes, they're in a room with blue felt paper and they're just playing with some just standard lighting, no production value. But that's some of the best stuff about this video. Now, I'm going to play a small bit of this video because I have permission from the band to play it. I've spoken to these guys over text messages on Instagram a couple years back when I first discovered them. They were really pumped. I asked them about the metal music scene in West Africa, and they were like, it's a struggle. There really isn't a lot of organization. So just like when you see on the news or through different press information that comes across about the turmoil between cultures and countries and government fixtures, and there's so much turmoil going on in West Africa, and you never know what the next day holds. That does impact the music scene, and it's a struggle, similar to bands that are struggling in the Russia-Ukrainian conflict, those that are in the Eastern Mediterranean regions around Israel and all those areas. It's a struggle right now because when there's political and cultural turmoil, it affects the music scene. And there have been some music festivals that are put together. There's one called the Winter Metal Fest that had been put together for many, many, many years. I don't even know if they had one this winter. And it's a shame because I think of all the areas of the world where I really wish metal music would explode from, West Africa is one of those places. Similar to Bloodywood in India, there's something unique about Punjabi, um, Bengali swing music that Bloodywood uses from the native Indian culture that really makes their music beautiful and unique. When you want to talk about classic, ancient, cultural, like ancestral rhythms and beats and percussion, there is no more elaborate area in the world than West Africa. I dare you to go and check out West African drum music, where literally 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 people can play hand percussion in different variations of djembes and gongs and different drums, and layer rhythms 8, 9, 10 layers deep on the fly. There's a different type of musical culture there, where music is not just a part of a sociological or cultural aspect, it's a part of their heart. It's a part of who they are. I'm going to play a little bit of this video, and this was their performance 3 years ago for a Winterfest. He's going to introduce the band. I'm going to let it play for about 3 or 4 minutes so you can get the vibe of what this band does. And remember, yes, all the drummer's cymbals are broken. Yes, they're playing on a dirt floor. Yes, all the microphone stands are pretty much wrapped in packing tape to keep them there. Yes, he's playing cowbells and djembes and gourd shakers and everything. But I want you to listen to the beauty of what's about to happen. And then after we listen to this for just a few minutes, I want to say why we all need to support bands from this part of the world, because they are so freaking unique. Archon Astra Folklore.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
We hope you are fine.
I'm okay.
This is Archon Astra Folklore from Togo, West Africa. And we are extremely honored to take part in this 12th anniversary of Overthro's Winter Metal Mania Fest. And we thank Overthrows for this invitation. We dedicate this first song to our brothers from Overthrows. It's an anthem to our elders, our ancestors, who are the guardians of tradition, of knowledge and wisdom we need to heal this nowadays world.
Do you realize what he's saying? He's giving props to the promotion of Overthrust, which has been putting together that music festival for 12 years. And then right off the bat, not about them. It's about carrying on the lineage of their ancestors, the traditions, and the culture. You do realize what's coming, right? No, you don't.
Mari.
When I first did this reaction 3 years ago on my channel, and I'm going to list my reaction to this and how blown away I was by this when I saw this when my channel first started on YouTube. Yes, his stand for his cowbells, and there are 4 of them, is tack welded to a metal pole and then packaged clear packing tape wrapped on. They'll do whatever it takes to make their music. That right there earns them your attention. That's how I feel about it.
See the sun slowly rising, and I listen what it tells me. From the first breath of the humanity,
I got goosebumps. Now, by the way, that video goes on for another 11 minutes, but I can't let it play for another 11 minutes because I have to talk for at least that long because I can't stop. Here's the thing. This band is now signed to a record label. And for the last year and a half, they've been putting out amazing music videos with the same power, the same tradition, the same honor to the ancestors, and they bring forth the true semblance of their culture. Every song is a story of the past and possibly the future. And I want to talk about the future. Much of the music scene of West Africa needs to be nurtured. And of all the bands like Archon that have gotten the opportunity to now make albums and release albums and make videos that are just beautiful to see, I don't see a lot of other bands. And I don't know if it's maybe my Google search isn't working or I can't find them on YouTube. Here's the thing. I actually had my community look. I said, guys, help me find as many West African metal bands as we can because I want to show them to the world, because if they're even close to what Archon has done, the world needs to see them. I got 6 listings from Morocco and 4 listings from Angola. Okay, now pull up a map of Africa and realize that Morocco is North Africa along the Mediterranean coast, and Angola is in South Africa. Well, it's the southern, it's past Nigeria into there. Now, there are a couple of bands from Lagos, Nigeria and stuff, and that's all well and good, but I couldn't really find a lot of West African music. Now, some of the most amazing music from a percussion standpoint comes from West Africa. There's also an amazing musical scene in East Africa, in Kenya and Nairobi and Mozambique and Botswana. And it's tribal and it's cultural. And I think part of West Africa's detriment in their music is kind of our fault. For all the modernization and technology and push forward into the present day culture that the world itself has brought to West Africa, they haven't done it in the best way. Remember, West Africa, the Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Nigeria, these are the areas where the Atlantic slave trade began. And here's the thing. European colonization to this day still has its heavy impact on West Africa. There's not a lot of infrastructure into West Africa. And I think that a lot of bands struggle because, number one, if I was a European label showing up looking for African metal bands, do you really think any African metal bands are going to trust a guy from Europe coming in and offering them the world? Probably not. Same thing if they were to come from the Western Hemisphere. There is an ancestral distrust. When you keep screwing cultures over and over again. Remember, Nigeria is one of the most developed countries of West Africa, and the only reason why it is because of the massive push of infrastructure because there's oil there. Here's the thing. The cultures that exist in West Africa have existed since the beginning of humans on the planet. Their ancestry, their culture, their past is long and deeply rooted. It cannot be supplanted by modern convenience or fads or whatever pop culture push goes into it. There causes a friction there. So maybe, just maybe, there needs to be a respect where you can go up to an African metal band and say, you know what? We want you to be who you are. We want you to be who your ancestors dreamed you would be. Be that, and just be hard, loud, and powerful. And I think that's why Archon has done well for themselves the last few years, because their music is as powerful and dynamic as we enjoy, obviously, that we just saw. And actually, this is a recording from 3 years ago. Their new stuff is even better, but because they're on a record label, I can't just throw it up on the video right here. It's a copyright thing. But let me also say that, have you noticed that from the very beginning of their song, it was about who they are? Not trying to be Rammstein. They're not trying to be Metallica. They're not trying to be Limp Bizkit, thank God. You know, but they're trying to be who they are, but metal. And that's the key. Now, here's the thing. The video is going to stop now. We're not going to talk about it anymore because I could sit here and blabber on about what's going on over there, but I don't live there. And think about it like this. If French is the predominant language of a West African country, or English is the predominant language of a West African country, why is that? Well, because of the past. But here's the thing. It doesn't just come from Western colonialization into the African continent. To this very day, there's also internal strifes between different cultures, different ethnic groups, different families in the same countries. And it continues on and on. So not only do West African metal bands have to deal with the fact that the industry is not going to look at them the same way, the scene really doesn't support it, but they never know which side of a situation they're going to be on, or when civil war is going to break out in this country or that country. And I'm not saying that because it's West Africa, there's struggles and strife. No, you have to understand that a lot of these countries have rich resources that everybody wants. And when everybody wants them, sometimes there's manipulations and fighting, and culture gets in the way of it, and culture gets stuck between it, and that includes metal and music. So I challenge you today to keep supporting bands when they take a chance, and they come from places like this in the world that don't have a metal scene. I mean, if you want to be a metalcore band from Germany, go for it. You could throw a rock on your street and hit 5 bands. If you want to be a hardcore metal band in the UK, go for it. If you want to be a death metal band in Finland, yeah, everybody else has one too. I think there's one deathcore band, death metal band per family in Finland. I mean, it's not even a thing. If you want to be a rap artist in the United States, yeah, walk down your street. There's some young guy writing lyrics right now. But what about the cultural aspect of nurture for that music in West Africa? We don't know. So the best thing to do is to share the music that's out there so that there's a need for more. We're going to keep going to different areas around the globe. Sometimes we're going to go to a place that has a vibrant music scene. Sometimes we're going to go to a place like West Africa, where they have some of the most beautiful music in the world. And that music is being stifled from every single direction you can imagine. And bands like Archon are keeping it alive, even if they have to do it in a handmade blue felt covered nailed together room, literally held together with chicken wire and duct tape, because it's here. All the chaos is out there, but their ancestry, their culture, and what they believe and love is in here. And as long as we can do what we can to support bands like that, the world will be a better place for music. My name is Old School Nerd. I don't know a lot about the music scene in West Africa, and I hope I am so wrong. Oh, please, dear Lord, I hope I'm completely way off. But I don't think that the West African culture right now is facilitating a really powerful metal music scene. If I'm wrong, dear Lord, please give me a list of amazing metal bands that for some reason I just couldn't find. It's a place of the world that has some of the most beautiful music. I just wish, of all the things, we could see more of it. And if we can find just a few people that say, hey, he's right, we should check it out, then it was worth me sitting here with the camera on. I love you guys. Next week, I think we're going to go to someplace in Asia. And maybe after that, we'll kick over to the Western Hemisphere. But in the meantime, do me a favor this week. Try to find as much music from West Africa as you can. And if it's not metal music, that's okay. It's probably better than anything you've ever heard, because they really throw it down over there. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.